Today is a huge red letter day for the farm, because today we buy our biggest field yet. It's every bit as big as our two largest fields combined, and very well may double the amount of canola oil our oil mill can produce. In the last episode, the new field was just within reach. All we needed to do is sell our big roll of silage to be able to buy the property worth about $320,000. Right now, it's January, and if we look forward in my crop planting, I'd like to get a big crop of oats in the ground starting in March. You're probably saying, oats? You were just talking about canola, which is true. What I'd like to do is plant both. If we can get this field bought, improved for a high yield, and planted in March, we can sow a crop of oats and get those harvested just in time to plant the canola. It's sort of my double cropping strategy. Now I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but we very well may try to purchase a bakery and full-size grain mill. I'm not 100% sure, and getting one or two more small grain mills might be how we go, but I definitely want a bakery. And to keep it supplied, it would be nice to get more flour production going. Yeah, we haven't even bought the big field, and I'm already making big plans for another production. That's how we roll on the farm. Let's finish up the silage and buy the new field. All sold, and we're up to $344,000 in the account. Plenty for the new field. Let's get that bought. $321,000, and it's ours. Now, in terms of condition, it has no weeds and is fully fertilized, a huge bonus. The big thing it does really need, though, is plowing. And so does our other field where we just planted the carrots. It's good on lime, but we've seen on the other fields that lime does wear down and become less effective over time. So we don't really know how freshly limed it is, but at least it's not desperate. We'll get on to the plowing as our next big chore to get the field all situated, but first, it's time for a little farm improvement. I'm going to gravel in this whole area around the new workshop and shed. I'll just square that off and have a nice yard area. This will be good. In fact, I might eventually turn this whole small field into something other than an arable crop. Right now, though, we've got a big job ahead of us. Maybe equally as big as the carrot harvest. We need to get over to the store and rent a plow. If a good plow comes on sale, I'll definitely buy it, but renting is what we have to do right now to save our money and ensure we have enough to completely prep and plant the new field in March. We could rent the more expensive one. It's a little wider, but I'm going to go for the cheaper one because the difference in rental fees is pretty big, and I believe we'll be better off spending our money on a little extra labor than we will on better tools. There's also the other small field where we just harvested the carrots. It needs plowing too, and the ability to turn around that larger plow is just going to wind up causing a lot of problems. So the smaller, cheaper, more maneuverable plow is what we're going to use. We'll start our plowing in the old carrot field and eradicate all the weeds as we plow. That's just what plows do. As we finish up the last few rows of plowing, you can get a good sense of the plow's working width and its speed. It's not particularly fast or wide, but this is just part of the farming challenge of the series and just naturally comes as your farm expands and grows. So really, I don't mind it. The fact that it deals with the weeds completely resets the periodic plowing condition and makes the field ready to plant kind of gives you a 3-for-1 when you plow a field. Alright, we're done with this field, and as a few snow flurries start, we'll just keep going with the plowing and move into our brand new big field. I'm going to start this field off with a worker and let them start doing some of the headlands. What I'll do in the meantime is grab the New Holland and start doing a little rolling. I haven't planted anything yet, so this isn't seed rolling for a yield bonus. It's just a very basic rolling action to push the small stones the plow dug up back into the ground. When we get to planting, having all the stones removed will keep us from damaging our nice new planter. We can just use our nice, wide and fast grass roller for these stones. It'll work perfectly well. Okay, that's done. We can put our big tractor on the plow to continue on with the new field, and we'll do the rest of the field ourselves. It's a big job.
We got a big job, Buster, a big job.
But we're definitely the farmer for the task. We've done about half the field, and I decided to experiment a little bit with the plow. Rather than flipping it over at the end of each row, which is what I think you're supposed to do, I kept it on the same side and followed GPS lines that would still give me full coverage. It definitely left a different pattern in the field, but overall, it didn't seem to cover any more ground than doing it conventionally. I admit it wasn't an overly scientific experiment, but I wanted to see if it would feel like it covered more ground. I'll go back to the way I was doing it before. It's a big field, and we've got a good bit left. Okay, we're coming down the last bits. It was kind of fun to plow in the snow, but what I hadn't counted on was the darkness created by the overcast sky. It made it kind of hard to see where I'd been, and it's not really even that late in the day, even for January. There, all done. Before I return the plow, let me check a couple things. The plow has 2.7 hours on it, so between the two fields, we've clocked a fair bit of time. The field also looks perfectly plowed, no missed bits. We'll return the plow and get ourselves back to the workshop. We'll just tuck it into the shed, and I like how anything in the shed is eligible for repairs. Now, this is peculiar. It doesn't look as dark down here in this part of the farm as it did in the new field. We'll drop the weight so we can attach on the water tanker and take care of the goats. The tanker uses a ball-type hitch, and the back of the weight only has a pin-type hitch, which is why we have to drop the weight. Oh look, I've knocked over the weight. We'll park the tanker and get that fixed easily enough. There. We'll get hooked back where it belongs, and there's just one more thing we really need to do for January. The new field was fully fertilized, but the field where we had the carrots has no fertilizer at all. So we'll get hooked up with the fertilizer spreader and put down that first application here in January. Since we expanded the yard, the crop area is even smaller, so one load of granular fertilizer should be plenty. Yes, barely more than half. We'll drop the spreader back off in the corner and get our tractor tucked in nice and tight for the night. The New Holland should also get parked just to keep it out of the weather, because I don't know exactly how much snow we'll get tonight. Which is a good reason to close our doors. We don't need all that snow blowing into our nice clean shed. We'll roll forward into February, and we do have a fair number of things to take care of on the farm before we get into our planting month of March. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and we just got a message that our goat barn spawn area is full. The timing is perfect. The trusty John Deere already has the pallet fork, so we'll scurry down there and do something that I can't believe I didn't think of until now. Rather than move the pallets way off to the side, I'll pick up the 4 pallets and move them straight forward into the little storage niche. Why didn't I think of this before? That'll do for now, and we can park the John Deere. In checking on the oil mill, it's run out of canola. I had said we didn't have nearly enough crop to keep it running, and you can see it. It's only February, and it'll be August before we can get any more canola, so that new field could not come soon enough. Let's pull out the Deutz-Fahr and try and spread another round of fertilizer on the old carrot field. We've passed over into the next month, so it might take, but we might also have to wait until the next month after we plant. Let's do a strip down through here and see. Nothing, but it was worth a try. We'll set this spreader back in the shed, and it's time to pull out the next tractor. The New Holland will get put to work with the roller to do what we did in the other field and use it to push the stones dug up by the plow back into the ground. Once this stone pushing exercise is finished, it'll be the last thing this field needs before planting the oats. In the next episode, you can almost feel the momentum we've got now going with the farm, and I'll see you in the next one.